Is there a way to learn from your mistakes without making them? Is there a way to see into your decisions before taking them? Yes, there is, and in this video, I will show you how. This is Unknown Protocol. Observe, intent, act, observe, intent, act. This is the Unknown Protocol. This is how you get from the unknown to the known. And in the last video, I mentioned how the last step, acting, it produces results. It makes things more explicit so that you can observe them and learn something new. So in this video, I want to dissect a little bit more into the nature of this observation phenomena. The idea to dissect observation came to me in particular in situations where I was afraid to talk to people because I didn't know how they were going to react. The metaphor to this is simplified into the scenario of the lion behind the door, where behind the door there could be a lion or there could be treasure, and you're afraid to open the door nonetheless because there might be a lion behind it. Of course, talking to people or a person's reaction and getting mauled by a lion is not the same severity, but the metaphor is there. This also works for situations in which by opening a door, you destroy whatever is truly inside. So imagine the treasure being behind the door, and by opening it, you destroy the treasure. And in a lot of situations in life, by observing, you alter what you're trying to observe. To put it in everyday situation, in a social scenario, it would be like when you can't ask somebody something because by asking, you'll cause them to break down and lie. They wouldn't tell you the truth. So how do you deal with these particular situations? From experience, we can tell that we don't always need to see something happen before our eyes for us to know what will happen. What accounts for this?
There are two types of observation, ways to bring the known from the unknown. These I call awareness, sensitivity, and manifest. On one side, you have manifest, which is what happens when you open the door. You elapse the consequences of your actions and you learn or observe whatever the effects of it was. This is like if you have a box with an unknown item. You open the box to know what's inside. On the other side, you have sensitivity. This is what happens when you use any of your mental faculties or simply focus in on your observation. You become more sensitive without affecting the outside world.
So there's two ways to gain awareness, sensitivity and manifest, two ways to observe. And it's not an either or matter, it's more of a spectrum, and all of us fall somewhere in between. So that people that are more sensitive, they have to do less, they have to manifest less in order to learn from their experiences about life and the world. Some of us learn from experience, others seem to be born with it. So that the people that are more sensitive, they have to do less, they have to manifest less in order to learn from it. They have to open less doors in order to know what's behind them. They have to commit less mistakes in order to get wiser. But there's a potential misunderstanding here, so I'll say this for those that will understand. If you're afraid to make mistakes, you have not had enough experience.
If two people were in a dark room, the sensitive one would be able to sense where the wall is and stop walking before he hits the wall. The less sensitive one would not be able to tell where the wall is until it hit him in the face. Only then will he know that there's a wall in the way.
At the end of the spectrum, you'll find people who, even after they run into the wall over and over again, they can't seem to know that it's there. These are people that never learn. On the other side of the spectrum, you'll find a person who just seems to know everything without even looking, who never makes any mistakes. This spot is reserved for somebody like Jesus Christ. So how does this spectrum of observation play into Unknown Protocol? Well, the step one is to observe, and there's two ways to observe. By becoming more sensitive, by calming down, becoming more centered, you increase your focus and you become more perceptive so that you notice the subtleties that you didn't notice the first time. On the other hand, if you don't have the sensitivity to know what's there, then you have a choice to make. This all comes down to what you value. Do you want the knowledge? Do you want to get out of the unknown? How much are you willing to sacrifice for it? Are you willing to make mistakes in order to obtain it? Are you willing to open the door and face the lion in order to know what's behind it? Are you willing to go to hell to get wiser? If you're not willing to do this, then you have to work on becoming more sensitive. But I'll give you a warning and a hint for those that will understand. This fear of making mistakes is what's keeping you from being sensitive in the first place. So you'll have to face your fear eventually anyway. This wraps up unknown protocol. In following videos, I will address other implications of the principles behind unknown protocol, and I will go through specific scenarios that serve as examples to see how to use unknown protocol. Now, the next level in the practicality system is essence, where I address how to achieve any goal that you can imagine. If you like this video, go ahead and follow, and if you can think of anyone that might get help from this video, you can go ahead and share.